In the last episode, we explained what these deals are and how they exist. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on where you can find these deals and get yourself ready for these auctions. Most of these properties are sold at auctions, and it's important for you to know that. Some of the auctions are going to be online, some of them are going to be over phone, some of them are going to be in person, and some of them are going to be mail in, meaning you are going to write your bid on a particular property and then lick and seal that envelope and ship it off to the county. All of that stuff, the time is of the essence. And typically, when they post what deals they will have, they will also tell you when the auction is going to take place and how you can participate in it. Make sure you pay attention to that. So, first thing first, where and how do we find these? We've talked about the fact that there's well over 3,000 different counties in United States. So what you want to do is focus on the state that you're interested in and look at the different counties they have. Once you find a county that you're interested in, you're going to go and look for what is known as tax assessor. And the tax assessor, they're typically places where you can actually give them a call, you can send them an email, or most of the counties by now, somewhere on the tax assessor place, have the properties that are up for sale. Some of them might say that they are going to post it in a particular newspaper or a particular website, or they're going to post it on their own website when they're ready to go through it. But that is one of the great ways to look through and see what is coming up and be able to obtain the list from the county. Now, to think about this potentially from the business, because we're still focusing on the money components of it, is that we've talked about how do we actually put some money aside for investment to do this. We talked about different strategies that exist within it. Now it's time to start talking about and thinking about it if it is something that you are wanting to do as a business. Now, a lot of people will go out to these auctions and they will bid on the properties. There are different methodologies of bidding. It can go anywhere from the blind bid, meaning I mail in my bid, you mail in yours. I don't know what you bid, you don't know what I bid, and then the county is going to open it all up and select the highest price or the lowest interest that we're willing to accept. When we talk about the tax liens, again, it's going to be different. Different states are going to do different things. In some of the areas, when we're bidding, we're actually, the bidding starts at the top of the return on your investment. So if their top is, say, 12%, then we're bidding down. And I'm going to bid 10, you're going to bid 9, I'm going to bid 8. And we're going to come down to the point where whoever is willing to take the lowest return on their money wins that particular bid. Then they put in whatever money is needed, and that's what they will receive. So if you went out there and bid on $1,000 tax lien at 5%, you'll pay $1,000 and you can expect to receive 5% on an annual basis, or however they calculate it. They will explain that in it. The other option is to bid on the price we're willing to pay. This is typical when we're dealing with tax deeds, but it's not unusual to hear about it when we're talking about tax liens as well. Oh, here's how it goes. The county will assess of what is being owed, whatever the fees are, whatever the back charges that they have, or whatever else they have, and they will come up with the sum of money. They will put that as a starting bid. Now, if you're the only bidder out there, then you can go in and get it for the starting bid. More often than not, properties that are very valuable, that are very popular, and in really good locations may get bid up. And you could see, and don't be surprised to see, that it could start at something like $5,000, but it sell for like $60,000. Now, of course, if you're doing that, you want to make sure that you pay attention to, is the property valued at whatever the bidding price is. So if the property value is $50,000, I don't know if it makes sense that you pay $60,000 unless there's some sort of business reason for it. Maybe the property value is not really high, but maybe you own everything else around it. And so this is the key component for you to build up a resort, and paying extra 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 is of little impact to you because you are looking to expand on your process and you're going to make way more money on it. So again, What you may think doesn't make sense might make perfect sense for somebody. You just need to have a business reason as to why you may or may not decide to bid on. Most of the time, the reason we will stop bidding is because we run out of money. So you also want to make sure that when you get these lists and you're looking at it, you also consider what is the maximum money that you are willing and able to pay towards these deals, because that's going to drive your strategy as well as what properties you can buy. Meaning, if I'm only willing and able to spend, say, $10,000, and there are properties that start at $20,000, I'm not even going to look at those properties because the price is not going to go down. It's going to stay the same or go up. So it doesn't make sense for me to spend any time or any energy on looking at a property I'm never going to be able to invest in. I'm going to look at the deals that are $10,000 and less. And then, of course, start evaluating those deals to make sure that the value is there for me and for my particular strategy. When we think about this as a business, many individuals might go out, and we're going to be focusing a little bit more on deeds on this one because it's a bit easier, I would think, although some of the things are possible with liens as well. So the goal of any business is to be able to obtain things at a lower price than they're selling it at. So, for example, if you are selling, say, toasters on Amazon, the goal is that if you're selling that toaster for 20 bucks on Amazon, that you take out the expenses of listing and processing the cards and all of the shipping and everything else. And then if you can get the toaster for way underneath it, meaning you keep the difference, then it makes sense. Very similar with these deals. You buy a house that, say, you spend $5,000, and if you can sell it to somebody for, say, $10,000, you pocket $5,000 minus if there's any expenses such as credit card processing fees or the deed transfer fees or taxes that you need to pay and so on. So that's how the concept works. And here is a very cool way to think about this as a business, not just as an investment strategy, but as a business strategy. Many individuals start this way and stay in it. I know that I've done quite a few of these in my time, and I absolutely loved it. I changed some of the trajectories on what I was doing, but every so often when I find a really good deal, I can't help myself and I jump in it and play around with it. So the way to start is that if you don't have a whole lot of money, is to start finding the best possible deal for your money that you can buy. So you would go in and obtain, say, one property at $2,000. Say that $2,000 is all you have, and you obtain one property for $2,000. Now, the goal for you is going to be able to flip it, meaning sell it as quickly as possible for more than $2,000. Now, hopefully, you have done a good homework and research, and this property is valued, say, at $15,000 assessed value. So, 2,000 is your price. The value of what you purchased is $15,000, and that means that you can sell it or should be able to sell it to somebody else at a markup, meaning whatever you sell it at, you get to keep the difference minus the expenses, of course. So if I was to buy $2,000 property, then I would go out and sell it to somebody for, say, 10,000. Even though it's valued at 15,000, maybe I sell it at 10,000 because I'm looking for a fast sale, because speed is the name of the game, for example, in this particular strategy. You will go in, sell it at $10,000, keep, right? 2,000 is what it cost you. Now you have $10,000. You don't have the property anymore. Now you have $10,000 to play with. So in this instance, I may go and find maybe one property at $10,000 that I'm going to flip, or maybe I find, say, five properties at $2,000 a piece that I'm going to flip. And as you can start seeing, very quickly it becomes very obvious that after a certain period of time, you're going to start being able to accumulate some of the money. And at some point, you say that we go with five, and now I have five properties that I spent $10,000 on, and I sell them at $10,000 each. That's $50,000. So I went from $2,000 that I can invest to $50,000. Now, I could invest all 50, or I could take a portion of that 50 to live off of, pay myself, pay my bills, put in other investments, and then take a portion and rinse and repeat. And that's really what the process with this is once you find your niche, once you get good at it, then it's just a matter of time of being able to churn the properties that you obtain and be able to sell them to somebody else. Now, do you have to sell the properties? You don't. You can, but you don't have to. You can, of course, keep it. Say that you go out there and you find, here's one of the deals that we found a couple of years when I was teaching a live class doing this to a nice group of folks. And we were looking at some of the live auctions that were coming up or just ended. And we found one property. It was, I want to say this was in Miami, Florida. I could be wrong. And the property, it was a condo. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo, I believe, in a high rise right by the beach. And I believe that the assessed value was $350,000. And the sale price was, I want to say, about $30,000 plus minus. So that's 10% of the whole thing, which is pretty freaking amazing. Now, if you were to purchase that, if you had $30,000 and you were to purchase that, it's very good probability that you could sell it, or you could actually hold on to it. You could refinance it. And even if you didn't refinance it for the whole 350, say that you refinance only enough to get you $30,000 back. Now you have another $30,000 to potentially invest in something else. And now you have a property that you have, of course, mortgage on that you're paying monthly. But if you have income, it's not a problem that now you can live in. You don't even have to refinance if you don't want to, but many people would choose, especially the ones that are thinking about this as a business and thinking about this as an investment. A third option that you have is, of course, you can either refinance or not refinance, is to be able to rent it and find a tenant. Now, of course, for me, the way I was thinking about doing this is put in $30,000, purchase the property, go out and refinance it, cash out, refine, because I own the property free and clear, meaning I don't owe anything other than like having to pay taxes on a regular basis. And now I get my $30,000 back. I can go and invest in other properties. And now I would rent it out and make sure that whatever I financed it at, whatever my mortgage was, plus insurance and whatever else expenses come in, that my rental could hold it. So say that after financing, that my taxes, insurance, and mortgage and everything else was say $1,000, could I rent it for 1,250 or 1,500 or whatever it was, whatever the going rental rates are. Now I have a property that I was able to obtain and purchase, right? I have my money back. I didn't have to pay taxes on that because it's a loan and you don't have to pay taxes on that, unlike income. Now I have a tenant in place. They're paying down my mortgage, and I'm still, hopefully, potentially keeping some of the cash. Now I've created multiple sources of income with just one deal. And this is why the name of the website is One Deal Away, because you really truly could be one deal away from getting yourself from wherever you are to wherever you want to go when we talk about finances. Now, for some of you, it's going to be to become a millionaire. Maybe it's going to be one deal and maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to be 10 one deals. I don't know. Maybe for you, the goal is just to have a house to live in. Great. You're just one deal away. Maybe you just need to flip it for some quick cash to be able to pay off something else. And who knows, you might fall in love with this and end up quitting your job that maybe you don't even like in order to do something that is very creative, very lucrative. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're playing in a win 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 scenario. Now, why am I saying so many wins? Did I lose my mind? No, I didn't. Because you know what? The government wins because they get money and now they can use that money that was owed through the taxes to build schools and roads and pay the fire department and take care of the stuff that they need to take care of, assuming that they are taking care of it. The second thing that you do is you help yourself. So you win because you're able to obtain something really highly, highly valued for not a whole lot of money. If you are able to then sell it or rent it, then you are actually helping the other party win. So now you make some profit, which makes you win even more. And somebody else now has a good place to live or build something on or invest in or whatnot. So you really do see how you become part of the win 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 methodology when you participate in something like this. I hope that this was highly inspirational and exciting to you. And if it is, I highly encourage you to make sure that you watch some of these videos again, that you pay attention to, that maybe this is what's giving you the fire that you need that you didn't have when we talked about, ooh, maybe you need to figure out a way how to create an investment fund so that you can participate in it. And remember when I said, look for ways to lower down your expenses. And I'm not saying that's for lifetime, it's just for a moment in life to do that in order to get this cash, in order to come and participate and play in this market to be able to potentially make money from it. And now you can see why it might be valuable to save up $2,000 or $10,000, go in and participate. Because if you can very easily turn $2,000 into, say, $10,000, would that be of value to you? For most people, the answer is yes. And now, if you can take that 10,000 and turn it into $50,000, like we talked about in a random example that I just threw out there, would that original $2,000 that you work for be worth to you to put in towards and get $50,000 in return? Again, for most people, the answer is yes. If the answer is yes for you, I highly encourage you to watch this again, to listen to it again, to write down. Here's part of the homework that comes in, to write down of why do you want to do this and what is your strategy? What are you looking to do? Are you going to go for liens? Are you going to go for deeds? Are you going to try both? Are you going to purchase a property you're going to try to flip? Is it going to be a purchase property so that you can actually refinance and potentially rent out and get into another deal? Is it going to be something you own right out and just move in, or have a house for mom to live in when she needs? I don't know what the answers are for you, but I hope that you do. You need to understand what is going to be your exit strategy before you even go in. Make sure you look at some of these states that you're interested in. Find out, are they lien? Are they deed? Are they mutant? What are the different ones? And then look for the different counties that exist and go to those websites. Give them a call, find out more about it, and be able to get those deals and start looking at what is the price, what is the value, does it even make sense for me to look at it? I hope this is exciting to you. If it is, make sure you do me a huge favor. I would really enjoy that like button. And if you want to subscribe, put in the bell notifications, because we're going to continue with this minute challenge in the very next episode. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away.